From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Well, it's been a while since I talked about all the different ways that you can get Weather NorCal. Of course, if you come to YouTube every day, you know you can get it from that way. Of course, just the regular updates. I'm also on Facebook, and mainly Facebook, also a little bit on Twitter as well. YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/@WeatherNorCal. It's also available, a 24-hour streaming channel on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick, which, by the way, the Roku app broke. When I say that, there was a change in the whole Roku system. So a fix has been submitted to Roku. It takes about 36 hours. So give it another couple of days and the Roku app will be fixed. So in about 2 days, I would go and actually update to the latest Roku app and everything should be just fine. Still waiting on Apple TV. You also have an app on both Apple and Android. So be sure to check that out and search for Weather NorCal. And of course, you can always go to weathernorcal.com. All right, so here's the deal. We do expect above average highs all week long with a warming trend that will peak around Friday or Saturday, sometime within that time frame. But then after that, temperatures will start to drop again, but no major heat waves in the forecast. Now, a little earlier today, the National Weather Service issued a fire weather watch for most of Modoc County. About 2 hours later, they decided to allow it to expire, or basically cancel that fire weather alert. So with that happening, or haven't happened, that is, I can get those words out. With that happening, it made me think, well, let's kind of review what the red flag warning criteria are. So there are two things that we look at. Number one is the humidity. If it's 15% or less, with frequent gusty winds of 25 miles per hour or higher. Now, both must occur for at least 3 hours in a 24-hour period. So based on this was the reason why they issued that fire weather watch for Modoc County. But we weren't expecting the humidity to be that low and not expecting the winds to be quite as high. So they were below that advisory criteria. Now, another thing that we look at sometimes is the widely scattered thunderstorms in 15% or more of the coverage area. So when you have thunderstorms in very dry conditions, you can spark a fire. So let's talk about also some of the things of what they mean. So a fire weather watch means basically alerts land managers and the public that upcoming weather conditions could result in extensive wildfire occurrence or extreme behavior. Basically what this means is just be prepared. And then if there's a red flag warning, that means it's imminent. It's going to happen and you need to take action. And that is just take all the necessary precautions to help prevent those fires from starting. So let's take a look at the dew point and take a look at the winds. All right, so the dew point are these colors here. So as we go into tomorrow morning, here's tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., you'll notice the winds are fairly calm and, you know, the humidity kind of with that mid-range. So not a big deal, not terribly dry and not windy out there either. Now, we are seeing the winds pick up, but not quite that 25 plus mile an hour range. It's also very dry. We're getting in these reds here, indicating very dry conditions for all of the areas in the deeper reds here. But again, you'll notice the winds not as strong as you need for that advisory criteria, which is why the Weather Service decided to let that basically expire. Now we go into Thursday morning, once again, very dry off to the east here, and the winds will pick up again, but not within the advisory criteria. So that was probably some of the confusion that was going on in the National Weather Service office, but bottom line is it's still hot and it's still dry and we still need to be careful. But we're not looking at extreme conditions, so that's obviously good news. Now, we look at the fire potential for Wednesday. All of the yellow means there is a low risk, so we're not even within that moderate risk, which is also good. But again, we have to remind ourselves to be extra careful this time of the year. Now let's talk about the smoke. It's still a bit of a haze out there as we go into this evening. And for tonight into tomorrow morning, we're going to see another plume of smoke come down into Del Norte and Humboldt counties and even parts of Trinity County. So still a bit hazy here for tomorrow morning. As we go into tomorrow afternoon, you'll notice even the smoke in Del Norte and Humboldt counties is not as bad. So basically just looking at those hazy conditions and probably not a lot of smell of smoke in the air. All right, so let's take a look at our forecast and take you into Wednesday. Temperatures, once again, right around or just above normal for this time of the year with 102 for Redding. But Chico, about 98 degrees for that daytime high. For the mountains, in the mid to upper 90s for Siskiyou and Modoc County, and not to mention off into the East Mountains. So still rather warm even in the higher elevations. Now you can see the monsoon moisture is down to our south and east, and I really don't anticipate it to make its way here anytime soon. So you can see as we go into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all looking pretty good. That monsoon moisture is down to our south. However, looks like by Sunday, we may see more of that monsoon moisture come in, mainly in the form of some clouds. You'll see some thunderstorms trying to develop in the Sierra here, but we can't rule out maybe some activity for the southern Cascades as well. Now that is this upcoming Sunday. That's a long ways out from now. So we'll have to watch to see if we can even get any of that monsoon moisture in. But bottom line, chances for thunderstorms at this point, the long range, are not looking very promising, which is a good thing. We don't want the lightning strikes, but yeah, the rain sure would be nice. Now tonight, we're dropping down to the upper 60s to around 70 in the valley, and for the mountains in the 50s for those overnight lows. And for your Wednesday, well, there it is. Temperatures about 100 degrees for Redding and Red Bluff, but should stay clear of the triple digits for places like Chico, Oroville, and Willows, with highs there in the mid to upper 90s. For the eastern mountains in the low to mid 90s, and that's also the case as you head into Siskiyou County, although a bit warmer in Wairika with 95 degrees for Mount Shasta. And there's Etna with a high of about 97 degrees. All right, so here is your 7-day forecast. We're going to take you into Thursday. Temperature starting to increase, getting close to 100 degrees by Friday, not to mention Saturday, before the temperature starts to drop again. And notice I've added some cloud cover here for Sunday to Monday, but as of right now, I'm not including thunderstorms in the forecast, including the eastern mountains, especially out into Modoc and Susanville. You know, that's typically where we start to see some of those thunderstorms, but I'm not putting them in the forecast just yet. But it is something I'll be monitoring very closely. Now we take a look at your 7-day outlook for the valley, and yeah, it's going to be 100 degrees or higher pretty much anywhere you go, with the exception of Chico. I think for tomorrow, you could dodge the triple digits, and you may dodge the triple digits again come Monday and Tuesday of next week.